Welcome to the May exclusive episode of the Roots of Life podcast. Thank you, everybody, for supporting us. Thank you for being here with us this week. It's going to be another fantastic episode. It's going to be the second half of last month's exclusive episode. So if you listen to that one, you have an idea, and now it's going to be kind of similar. So stay tuned and enjoy the episode. Hello, everybody, and welcome to the May exclusive episode of the Roots of Life podcast. My name is Taylor. I am one half of the Roots of Life podcast, but you already know that. Joined by He Only Does Everything, James Fitzgerald.
Hello, everybody. How are we today? Today's exclusive episode, brought to you by the month of May, is the second half of our April exclusive episode, and I believe that was released very recently.
Yeah, so I made a post. I posted in the description that I apologize for the late posting of the video because we realized that we had put the post on patreon.com/Roots of Life, but forgot to actually press the post button. And so now it is nearing the end of May. And we just posted the episode the day previous to recording this one. Mm-hmm. And this one will go live within the last week of May. So we apologize for that. We didn't hear anything from anyone. And I know that some people, I'm surprised that we didn't hear from them because there's a lot of people who like to remind me.
I love hearing that people have reminded you, like, hey, where's this thing? It's great to know that people actually are paying attention and they know when things are supposed to be out. It's really cool.
Yeah. So again, we apologize for that, but it's here. You got it. We're rolling. And if you listen to the April exclusive episode, for all of you beautiful people out there, Jimmy, we decided to do kind of an interview type of podcast where Jimmy just asked me questions and basically I talked a lot about my life and choices that I've made and things that I've done and whatever. And so now it's my turn to ask Jimmy a bunch of questions. James.
Yes.
I have a list of questions for you.
Oh my.
But I have one question that I want to ask first.
What is that?
What tickles your fancy? I'm throwing you a curveball.
I know.
At the beginning of the show.
Right at the beginning. What tickles my fancy at the beginning of the show? What is this?
It's madness.
It's madness. It's crazy. What tickles my fancy? The sound of thunderstorms outside your window as you fall asleep.
Say it again, Jimmy.
I love the power you feel just outside that wall, just outside. The loud bang of the thunder, the bright flash of lightning, the steady pounding of the rain. It's just one of those things that always helps me fall asleep so well. Just such a great sound, such a great thing. I always had a tin roof just outside my bedroom window, so always, like, anytime it rained, I had that loud, like, tinny sound. So I've always loved the sound of the rain. Help me fall asleep. Taylor, I'm going to throw it back at you. What tickles your fancy? I didn't think you'd be ready for this.
I was not ready for this. I am going to veto this one until later because I want to get into the interview. James, I want to know, where did the beginning of your interest in psychology come from?
Oh.
Like, did you read something as a kid or what happened? Like, what piqued the interest?
It's a good question. Honestly, it's kind of a long story, I guess. Well, I mean, it's my life. So to start off, when I was a kid, I wanted to be the ice cream man so I could make people happy by giving them ice cream.
That's awesome.
I also wanted to be a clown because I loved going to the circus and seeing the clowns do funny things, and I thought it was super funny. And then after that, I wanted to be a comedian because, again, I wanted to make people laugh. somewhere in there, I wanted to be a fireman at some point. Every little boy's dream. I want to be a fireman. But basically, what it all came down to was I wanted to be able to make people happy, make people laugh, people enjoy their lives, have fun. And I thought with any of those jobs, I could do that. If I was ice cream man, I'd be bringing happiness to people in my truck with the nice music. If I was a clown, I know a lot of people are afraid of clowns, but some people love them and they're really funny. I mean, after 2016 with the whole clown craze, those scary clowns out there, I'm happy I didn't choose that career path. Instead, I chose psychology because I felt that I could make people happy and make their lives better. I wanted to help people, but I'm also kind of squeamish when it comes to like blood and things. So I didn't want to be like a paramedic or police officer or fireman because there's just too much stuff that you got to deal with. Whereas with psychology, I just have to deal with people's emotional baggage. And that's a lot easier, in my opinion, than dealing with physical grossness. I mean, even right now, like thinking about that, I'm like wrapping my hands in my shirt because I'm like, it's gross. Anyways, so I chose psychology. I was starting in high school. I've kind of heard about it. I had heard that other people in other high schools had psychology class, and I had always wanted Barsby to have a psychology class, and they ended up having one the year after I left. But I really enjoyed doing sciences and things like that when I was in school, sciences, math, and then going over to psychology. It was really strange seeing how there is science and math in it, but a lot of it is more writing. You have to like write about your observations and all of these things. And there's more writing than there is actual like science, I guess. There's more writing about what you've read, what you've heard, what you've seen, all of those things. So I chose psychology because I wanted to make people happy and because it was also on the way to being, it is a science, a social science which is something that I like.
So it was kind of a means to an end.
Yeah, in a way. I've never really like had a direct career goal in mind. It's more just I want to make people's lives better in a way. So
That's what we try to do here.
that's why we're here. That's why I was really excited when you asked to do the podcast, because I was like, that's awesome. I can push forward my agenda of happiness.
There you
The
go.
most evil
Absolutely.
agenda there is.
In your studies, was there anything that caught your attention that maybe might have diverted your thoughts in what, like, if it might have like diverted your path into a different career path? Was there anything that caught your attention that you thought you might want to be?
Want to be is kind of in the realm of psychology. There's still those times where I'm like, man, I kind of just want to go somewhere in the world, like a third world country, and try and like volunteer, make those lives better. But at the same time, then I think I don't really have the means to do that right now. So I kind of have to make sure that I've got my stuff figured out before I try and help other people in that sense. But not really. There's different like parts of psychology that I find really fascinating. For example, right now I work with youth, and that's primarily where I wanted to be when I was in school. But I'm also applying to work with people that have addictions issues, because I've found that that's something that people really struggle with. And if I can be there to help with that, it could make their lives better. And not only their lives, but the lives of everyone around them, including the health system, because there's less people. If I can help people get off of their drugs that they're addicted to, there's less need for them to be in the health system, and then other people that need it can get in there as well. It's kind of just like a big circle. So if you just make like one person's life better and change something for the better for them, it'll end up changing it for many more people.
I think that's something like that gets lost a lot in like recent times. People with addictions, like
Yeah.
they'll try and give them drugs and stuff to help them like quit the drugs that they're on. But if you can like, from like a counselor perspective, or
Yeah.
if you can help the person like discover what the problem is, then you're helping them like figure it out on the root level,
Yeah.
as opposed to trying to like cover it up with something else. So that's, I think, really fantastic.
Exactly. That's why I primarily wanted to work with youth as well, because I feel there's basically less noise to get in the way of finding like the root to the problems that they have. A lot of them, they have like pretty close to what would be seen as PTSD, just in form of trauma, different things that happen to them in their life. So it's easier to find those things when they haven't gone through a whole bunch more. So I think it's easier to just start at youth, try and help the youth, get them to be functioning, happy individuals, and then it kind of just works from there. The more happy people we have, the happier everyone is, right?
Happy Planet.
Yeah.
You ever had their juice? It's so delicious.
So good.
Yeah, so good.
So good.
So deadly. So if you had to do something outside of psychology, what would you do?
Man, I haven't thought about like doing anything outside of psychology in so long. I do really like working with my hands, doing physical stuff. I mean, I didn't enjoy doing construction that much, but I did enjoy the act of like physically doing physical work. So I think I'd try and find something where it was like physical. I'd go back to doing labor and construction, framing and things like that. It is fun, very interesting. I do get to use math, which is also great. So, and I enjoy doing stuff that gives me a workout where I don't think about it as a workout, because just thinking about a workout always bugs me. I don't like doing workouts. I'd rather go and do something that gives me a workout, but also has another goal. So the workout's just like an added bonus. So that's one of my favorite parts about like when I was doing construction. I was laborer, so they'd basically be like, carry that big heavy thing to over there, dig that big hole, whatever. And I'd be like, okay, do it all. And by the end of the day, you're so sore and tired, but you're like, sweet, I got a full workout in today and I got paid to do it. So I don't know. I just love that.
The following morning, they tell you, Jimmy, fill that hole back
Exactly.
in.
Lift that big heavy thing and put it back where you found it. I'm like, yeah, okay, now I hate it.
Yeah. I like seeing
Yeah,
a result
exactly.
at the end of your hard work, but I definitely see what you mean. I definitely got some of those. I have similar feelings. I enjoy doing laborious work because you feel accomplished by the end of the day.
Yeah, you can look back and be like, okay, there was a hole here, and now there's like a cement pad, and we're starting framing tomorrow or whatever. So it's pretty cool.
My next question, Jimmy.
Yes.
Now, I'm going to pose a fact, and then I'm going to ask a question, because
Okay.
you used to play football when we were growing up, and maybe
did.
not everybody knows that. And so, I mean, I don't want to ask you why you wanted to play football. Like, I mean, I think it's there.
It's a
I think.
sport. It's fun.
Yeah. But if you had to put as much time into something else, a practice of some sort that wasn't football when you were that age, what would it have been?
If I had to put my time into something at that age that wasn't football,
Like another sport or
Another
an
sport?
instrument or anything.
I definitely wish I had put that much effort into playing guitar, because I have a guitar here, 2 of them. I just sold one, so I only have 2 now. But I wish I could play them way better than I can. I'm a complete like novice beginner player, and I've been playing since I was probably like 12. My mom gave me my first guitar, and I'm still like just as good as I was when I was 12. So I mean, like, I just don't put enough time into it, and then I have to like reteach myself every time I pick it up. So I really just end up getting like back to where I was, and then I'm like, cool, put it down, don't touch it for a while, pick it back up. I'm like, awesome, I got to retry. So I really wish I'd put more of my energy into playing the guitar or even like any instrument, I've always wished I had drums to play, something like that. That would have been fun. But yeah, definitely wish I had played more guitar. To be honest, though, if I didn't play football, I would have just played video games. Like, that's what would have happened. Because I remember I'd play football, go home, play video games. And, like, that was my life.
I did
That's all
that.
I did.
I used to do stuff like that too, though. I played
Yeah.
multiple sports. I played soccer. I played softball. I played hockey, and that was it. It was like Saturday. You'd go, and you'd be out of the house from like maybe 7 till 1 or 9 till 1. Then
Yeah.
you go home, and it's like Saturday afternoon. You're like, man, I'm tired. I'm gonna chill, play some games.
Yeah.
You didn't really want to do much after that.
No, it's then you get to teenage and you're just like out doing stuff all the time
Yeah,
besides football and stuff. So
yeah. So if you had to play a different sport,
if I just play a different sport,
yeah, what would it have been?
oh, I don't know. I wasn't very good at any sports. I was good at football because I was chunky and I could get in the way. And like, that's why I was good. They literally, I mean, I wasn't great. I wasn't a great player. I quit in like grade 11. So, but the only reason I was even like any good at that was because I could just like stand in the way of people and I didn't care how much I got hit.
That's awesome. You were just a machine.
I was just like, whatever, I'll get hit again. That's fine. The running bothered me. I hated the running. Again, I was chunky. It's hard to run.
What
when you're
position
chunky.
did you play?
I played center.
So think about all like the defensive tackles and all those guys. Like, no, none of them want to run.
No, nobody
No.
wants to run in that little group there.
No, exactly.
Yeah. Another sport though. I did play softball when I was a kid. I enjoyed playing that. I think I play softball again. I was actually thinking about trying to find like a men's like beer league for softball or something.
Hell yeah,
It'd be
dude.
fun. Yeah. I gotta start getting it back out there, do some sportsing.
Do some sportsin'.
Yeah. Yeah. I was never a great skater though, so hockey wouldn't be my thing. Soccer, there's just so much running. I could play goalie though, but I could play goalie. It'd probably be softball though.
See, with
Softball, baseball.
soccer, you get to pace yourself. Like, you're not just full out hauling ass the entire time. It's
That's
like,
true.
25 minutes, say 25-minute intervals of speed up, slow down, speed up, slow down.
But you see, that's the thing. That's still like 25 minutes of like at least jogging, which is like, that's a lot.
Yeah, I guess so.
Whereas like in football, you're like, okay, you got 4 plays. Each one of those probably lasts like 30 seconds and you go full out. And then you got 30 seconds of a break, unless you get a timeout, and then you got like 5 minutes. And then you go for another 30 seconds full out and then 30-second break. So really, you don't do a lot. I mean, like,
Do you think football players would disagree with you?
probably. I mean, they're like receivers and everything. They run like all the way down the field and then they have to jog all the way back and then do it again next 30 seconds. But honestly, you just like sprint for a bit. And if you're not getting the ball, so you kind of like half-ass it by the end of it or get a good block off. Especially, I mean, like in high school football, in professional football, like it's full out. You're hitting people, you're going hard, and you're using a lot of energy in a very short burst of time. But man, in high school, if you weren't getting the ball and you knew it, you're like, whatever, I'm just gonna dog it over here. There's so many kids that you're just like, man, why are you out here?
They just didn't
It's
try.
funny. I didn't really try that hard either, but that's why I quit.
All you had to do was hunt the ball and then block the
I
guy
did.
who's coming in front of
I
you.
had to get the ball to them and stand up and stop whoever big mammoth was in front of me.
Was he usually bigger than you?
often they were bigger than me. Like I mean, I was a big kid, but I wasn't like huge. And there was some kids, man, I'd get the ball to the quarterback and I'd stand up, just touch him, and I'd just get like flipped backwards. Just crushed. There's a
I
couple
can just
times
imagine.
couple times I get flipped backwards, my hands get stepped on by like cleats, and then I'm like, awesome, let's do it again. Next. Yeah.
Sounds like a lot of fun though.
Yeah, man. I actually like, I miss getting hit.
Sounds so weird.
It sounds so weird, but honestly, like in high school too, I would always like go to parties, and when I got really drunk, I'd get people to hit me. I kind of miss like, hitting people and getting hit from football. It's like, it's a weird thing, but it's just a release, I guess. I don't know.
You can
It's weird.
just tell the girlfriend to hit you
Oh no, she
when
didn't
it's
hit nice.
when it's romantic time.
Yeah, hit me harder.
So we've been out of high school now for what, 6 years, 7 years, coming up on 7 years of graduation.
Yeah.
You've done a lot in that time. Do you think you've utilized that time to the best of your capabilities?
I think so. I mean, I took a year, did construction for that entire year, learned that that's not what I wanted to do for the rest of my life. So that was like, I felt like that was really productive. I was working. I wasn't just being a bum. And I was learning practical skills at the same time. So I feel like that year was, although I didn't move towards what I wanted, it was really helpful for me in terms of learning new things that I wouldn't have learned otherwise, as well as figuring out what I did end up wanting to do. I knew in high school that I wanted to go to university for psychology. I just wasn't sure if that was going to be just after high school or later on in the future. But when I realized what I didn't want to do, I realized it was much better for me to just go for what I wanted. So I took 5 years to do my bachelor's degree, which is a year longer than it should, but it's also 2 years shorter than the average these days. So, which I found was ridiculous. 7 years for a bachelor's degree is kind of crazy, but with the economic climate, it kind of makes sense. You got to like work part-time jobs to get yourself through it. So doing less school, more time, it makes sense. So yeah, and then this last year I've come to Kamloops. I have found a job in my field, and it's gotten me so much experience in doing residential and youth work in the shelter. It's just really great. I've done a lot of stuff in these 7 years, and I think so far I've done everything that's kind of pushed me forwards. It's helped me get to where I want to be and where I am now. So yeah, I think it's been beneficial.
That's good. I'm happy to hear that. And so now, shortly, you'll be moving back to the island,
Yes.
and you'll be getting your life settled in there. Is there anything that you have planned, like moving forward, besides the move? Like, is there anything that you want to do specifically when you get back to the island, or when you get kind of settled in, that you want to kind of like venture off and do?
On the island right now, I have sent a few emails and phone calls, so I have a couple jobs possibly lined up. I just have to email them all when I get there, because they were waiting for me to get there before they would give me any more information as to if they had availability or anything like that. So when I get there, I'll be doing that. Hopefully getting a couple jobs in my field that I can work with. And beyond that, though, this summer, I basically just want to get out as much as possible and do as many hikes on the island as I can. I'm really excited to go back, and I've been planning all sorts of different hikes that I can go on. Well, not really planning them necessarily, but looking them up and seeing what was around. There's Della Falls that I want to do. I think it's the highest waterfall in Canada, if I'm not mistaken.
Oh, wow.
It's on the island. It's
Higher than Niagara Falls?
yeah, Niagara Falls just pumps out a lot of water. It's really wide. It's like cascading falls, but it's not like really high.
Oh.
Whereas Della Falls is I think there's 5 tiers to it, and it ends up being like 150 meters high, which is pretty crazy. And then I just want to go travel through the island. I mean, I grew up there, but I didn't see enough of it. There's just so much more to see. I want to go to Bamfield and Souk and stuff like that. So
Go swimming at the Souk potholes.
yeah, I've heard about those and I've seen pictures, and I really want to go there.
It's really great.
I wish I went like when I was living in Victoria. I had so much time off where I could have just gone by myself, but it sucks kind of going on adventures by yourself when you do it too often.
Yeah, you want someone to enjoy the
Yeah,
experience
you kind of
with.
want somebody you can laugh with and do stuff with. You don't have to go make new friends because that's just anxiety provoking.
Yeah, no doubt. So, okay, I'm going to fire a couple at you now.
Okay.
Couple quick ones. What is your favorite kind of sandwich?
My favorite kind of sandwich. Oh my God. Man. Okay. In Victoria, there is this, it's like a farmer's market type grocery store. It's called Red Barn. There's a couple of them, and they make sandwiches. And they make it with fresh bread, like freshly sliced meats and cheeses, and like the most fresh vegetables. And then they grill it on like a panini maker, and it's so good. So my favorite one, they do this like Montreal beef with they had like I think it was like a garlic aioli, sprouts, spinach, and then this like hot pepper Havarti cheese or something. And it is the best sandwich I've ever had in my entire life. Like nothing compares.
And what is the name of this place? Is it just a farmer's market, or is it like a store by
It's
the
like-
market?
It's a store. It's not necessarily a farmer's market, but it's just like it's weird. It's kind of like a hipster grocery store in a way. Like
Okay.
it's kind of all locally sourced foods. So it's not it's like a little bit more expensive than the regular grocery store like Save-On or something because of the fact that it's all local. But it's just so good. Yeah, it's Red Barn. Red Barn. There's a couple in Victoria. I don't know if there's anywhere else. But yeah, there's I think 3 in Victoria.
Montreal smoked beef sandwich. Sprouts,
God.
spinach, garlic aioli. What kind of bread?
Oh, right. It was a marble rye.
A marble rye.
Oh, yeah.
Damn.
So good. Man, now I just want that sandwich. I just want that sandwich.
Good sandwich. That's a good sandwich. Okay. Second question, Jimmy.
Let's do it.
What's your favorite color?
What's my favorite color?
Favorite color.
My favorite color used to be red. It is not anymore. It is now purple.
Purple.
Love the color purple.
I like purple.
I think that was your favorite color too. And
I think so. I like
Yeah.
I like purple. It's just psychedelic color.
it is. It's just a good color.
Yeah.
I remember like as a kid, I was told that purple's like a gay color or something. And as a kid, you're like, that's scary. I don't like it.
I don't want to be gay.
I don't want to be gay. So, but once you get over that, you're like, oh, sweet. I actually like purple. It's a way better color. So, yeah, I like purple.
Sweet. I love purple.
Yeah, I have a fun story about purple, actually. I don't know if I've told it on the podcast before.
You want to tell it?
Sure, I might as well. My biggest reason for loving the color purple, I think it was my third mushroom trip. I was in Tofino. We were on the beach, and I had this like crazy epiphany that basically like colors, you know how feelings are associated with colors, how like red is anger, love, or passion, basically
Yep.
like the really passionate emotions. And then I was thinking of blue, how it's kind of like a calm, serene, sadness type color. And then I thought of purple, where it's a mixture between blue and red, where it's like the way my mushroom brain told me, it's a calm passion. It's like the passionate feeling, but on like a calmer state. So you're not completely enveloped by this like love or this lust or whatever this passion is. Instead, it's more of like a calm, like I really love this thing, but I'm not going to try and own it or like take it. It's just going to be what it is, and I'm just going to love it the way it is, however it is and changes. So to me, purple ended up being the combination of blue and red, so a calm passion, and essentially became like the color for love for me, because it's less of that like ownership, passionate type love. Instead, it's more that I love this thing, I'm gonna let it be. So yeah, that's I've always had the philosophy like, if you love a flower, leave it, kind of thing. So
Don't pick it.
yeah, that's why I just take pictures of my flowers. Then I have it forever, but I don't have to pick it.
Until your phone dies.
Rude. But yeah, that's why I like purple, because it's love. Purple is love.
I like that, man. It's like the balance.
Yeah.
It's the balance between the two.
Instead of being like cold and like aloof, it's like, yeah. Or fired up and this is mine because I like it. You're like, I love this thing. I'm going to let it do what it wants.
That's really beautiful.
Yeah, that's why I like purple.
Well, we can agree to agree.
Yes, I love it. Next question, sir. I love these. I'm
Favorite
good at these.
place that you've traveled to?
Oh, favorite place that I've traveled to.
Not favorite place. Can't be somewhere at home. It's got to be favorite place that you've traveled to outside of our community.
Okay. Favorite place that I've traveled to. Okay. Favorite place that I've traveled to recently was Helmcken Falls. Beautiful place. It's basically this huge canyon, and at one end there's like this circular hole that has been carved by a waterfall, and it's a huge waterfall, and it's so beautiful. Then I walked all the way along the canyon, and it opens up to be an even bigger canyon that goes two other directions. Super beautiful. But favorite place that I've traveled ever is definitely Australia. When I went, saw the family down in Australia. And there was one point where we went to a family friend's house, and he lives on a farm literally in the middle of nowhere. There's nothing for miles. So when his porch light was off, which was the only light for miles, the amount of stars you could see just blew my mind. It was amazing. I've never seen anything that beautiful. I picture that in my mind some days. I'm just like, that was one of those things that I wish I could always see that. That is probably the favorite place that I've ever traveled.
It's such a nice feeling when you get out of the city and then you just get an opportunity to stare up at the lights.
Right?
Or at the stars. Sorry.
Yeah.
When the lights aren't on.
Yeah. I mean, they're the original lights, though. But it's so beautiful just to like see them sparkle there. And we try and do it ourselves by like decorating things with lights and all these things. But really, we should just turn off all the lights and look up. It's way prettier. I don't think any light bulb could ever look as pretty as a star.
Definitely not. I had, on the last day of Vipassana, when our vow of silence was broken, we had to go to sleep, right? They have like a 9 p.m. to 10 p.m. is like rest time, and then 10 p.m. is lights out, so you can kind of stay up for a little bit and like do what you need to do, whatever, and then it's like 10 p.m. lights out. But because we could finally talk, me and the guys, it was like summer camp or something. We like ended up sitting up in our room in our beds and just sat there and talked, because we had been staying in a room with each other for 10 days and hadn't talked to each other. And it was the weirdest thing. And so at one point, one of the guys went out to the bathroom, and he came back in, and he says to us that the stars are just so beautiful because there's like no lights on the building, and we're so far from the city. And so we all snuck outside, tiptoeing through like the residential area, and then like went outside, and then we just stood outside and stared up at the stars for like 10 minutes.
That's awesome.
And it was like just really peaceful and really serene and beautiful.
That's cool.
Yeah,
Like that.
it was a great memory.
It's super interesting that you like lived with people for 10 days and didn't talk to them.
Yeah.
I find that super cool.
There was a couple people that I talked to on the day, like when we first get there, because the vow sounds like you have to register with them by like 5 or 6 o'clock. And then you go like into the hall like 8 or 9, and then they kind of give you a rundown, and then that's when the vow of silence starts. So you have a few hours there, depending on what time you get there, to talk to people. And so there was a few people that we ended up like all sitting down and chatting and whatnot. And then I remember a day or two in looking at people and thinking to myself, I don't remember what you sound like. And you're sitting there trying to imagine what somebody's voice sounds like.
Yeah.
And it's the weirdest thing. You just have no idea. Like, I've heard your voice enough times that I know what you sound like.
Yeah, you just know. Yeah.
Yeah. But to people that you've been around for so much and never heard talk, it's the weirdest thing.
That's so strange.
Yeah.
That's super cool, though.
Yeah. It was a unique
I'm
experience.
gonna have to do that. I think I'm gonna have to do that experience. It's cool.
Yeah. You'll learn a lot.
Mm-hmm. I believe
Really
it.
eye-opening. Next question, Jimmy.
Oh, we have more questions. Okay, let's do
I
it.
have at least one more question.
At least one more, depending on my answer.
Yes.
If it's good enough, we'll try. We'll do another one.
Okay. Who is one person that you're grateful for?
Oh man, there's so many.
I know, but you have to pick just one. And then
Well-
give me a reason why. But it can be anyone.
Well, okay, I'm gonna pick you, and not just because you're here.
Oh,
And that's
jeez.
like,
Jeez,
I gotta
there.
put that out right away. Not just
Jeez,
because you're
pal.
here,
Jeez.
but like you actually make my life a lot better. I always like, we do these podcasts or we're playing Rocket League or whatever we're doing. And it's just fun. It's just happy. It's just a good time. I don't have to try and like pretend and be something. I'm just there. It's great. I love it. So thank you for being somebody that I can be comfortable with and be like just me around. It's cool.
Hey, man, I do what I can.
You kill it. That's what you do.
Awesome.
Yeah.
And, okay, one more question.
Okay, one more question.
What was your favorite elective in university?
Oh, my favorite elective in university.
Because I feel like you get the opportunity to take some pretty cool classes.
I had quite a few of them.
I had no idea what you took, but
I ended up taking a lot of electives because I finished everything I needed to finish the year before I had enough credits to graduate. So I had an entire year where I could take electives. But I also had electives throughout my years of university. One of my favorites, I have a couple. So one of my favorites was a comic book course. I think I've spoken about it before, but I got to learn about creating comics, writing comics, reading comics, just basically like why and how they're structured and made the way they are, which was really cool because I've always been somebody that likes to read little comics here and there, likes comic books. Like I always read like Archie when I was a kid, stuff like that. I know it's not like the epic comic books, but they were fun. So it was cool to just like learn about how they tell the stories differently and what techniques are used to help readers learn how the story is progressing. It was really cool. My other favorite class was my consciousness class.
Is that the one that you said the teacher really focused on like practical things? Like you guys did a lot of like, cool exercises?
We went and did like Buddhist meditation. We do like different exercises. That class just opened my eyes to like so many different things in the world in terms of like we learned about different Eastern religions. We went to a Buddhist temple where the monk there did throat singing while we meditated, which was super cool. And there's just so many things like the experiential stuff where there's this lamp that has this chip in it that basically it produces random numbers. And what those random numbers do are they change the color of the lamp. And basically, the theory is that by focusing on it, you can change the color as a group. So I thought that was really cool.
That's awesome,
Also,
dude.
I'd like to make a shout out to the roommate. He's no longer the roommate anymore, but he's great.
He is no longer the roommate, but he's in the house.
He's in the house.
In the house.
The roommate's in the house.
Celebrity guest. What up, brother? On that note, we're going to wrap it up. Thank you, Jimmy, for being here with me today. Thank you, everybody, for supporting us. We look forward to talking with you next week. It's the Roots of Life podcast. Good night.
Thanks, everybody. Stay weird.